everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Soul Legacy TV podcast and radio show, The Soul Legacy Movement, with me, Iona, founder of the Soul Legacy Academy.com. So I am your host for this Cheers to Financial Freedom Frequency telechat series for soul guided entrepreneurs, featuring legendary light leaders joining me from all over the world, blazing the trail and illuminating the pathway for you. So we are excited not only to share soul path alignment gifts, but shifts. And we're going to be sharing, and if you've seen any of the episodes so far, you'll know that we're going to be sharing raw and real stories, just what it's taken for us to be aligned with our soul path. So the dark nights and the light nights. So I'm really excited. We're going to be breaking down the barriers, busting through the myths, and sharing our experiences so you can experience more ease, grace, and flow in your light work, your lifestyle, and your world life. So I'm excited to welcome my guests. So I have two special guests. So you're spoiled, really. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
Hi, so introducing Erin Newman. Hang on, let me just get my notes. I've gone too ahead of myself. And Anna Tsui. So welcome, guys.
Hi.
All right, so let me give you a warm introduction. So you might have seen from the bio. So Erin Newman is a mindset, biz coach, and shamanic practitioner. Erin helps women entrepreneurs to move through the blocks and fears and claim their magic so they can make money and the money that they deserve. Erin's work will help you to create an aligned, authentic, and successful business. I love that. And Anna is the founder of the Intuitive Business School, an intensive program that helps coaches and healers and business owners like you wake up to their power and build their signature programs, because that is needed, and fearlessly create clients, scale their business, and increase income and revenue with ease, grace, and flow. So welcome. I am gonna dive in. We're gonna dive into the gifts and the shifts, but I wanna ask you, Erin, how did your soul path or your soul journey unfold to lead you to do what it is that you're doing today?
Yeah, so many different pieces there. I think probably the biggest one was I had quit my job after my second son was born and was on the spiritual journey, the spiritual path. And I, was staying home, which lasted all of about like 2 months before I got really bored and decided I was going to do some freelance writing. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do freelance writing for people that I love, coaches and consultants and therapists and people that were in the mental health space, because I was always interested in that space. And but I just kept meditating on what else is there for me, because I knew there was something more. And it just kind of like came to me in this like really clear download one day, like the goose pimple download, where you're like, oh, it was that I was meant to be a life coach. And so like that day I started researching, life coaching programs in Atlanta and found a program. And I remember having a conversation with the director of the program, and he was like, well, you understand that if you pay your deposit, you're in, right? And I was like, yeah, like, let's go. I'm ready. Like, why are we talking about this still? Take my money. And so, I realized pretty quickly after I was done with life coaching school, which was an amazing soul journey in and of itself. And through that process was starting to understand that I really wanted to study more about shamanism and utilize that work in my work with clients. And so after I got out of life coaching school, and I just started kind of naturally gravitating to helping other entrepreneurs with the stuff that seemed not easy for me, but seemed really just like intuitive, like marketing and messaging and, how to put yourself out there. Those things just, I just always found them fun. And so I just started gravitating towards that with entrepreneurs. Like, how do you be really authentic in what you're sharing and what you're offering to the world? And because that's, you know, like you said, let's share the real stuff. Like, that's my struggle, is like, how do I be authentic and real in this world without, you know, without going so far into the woo woo that people can't understand what I'm saying, you know, because like, I think most of us could kind of operate there all day, you know, but at the same time, like, I'm also not going to be in that space where I'm telling you, like, you got to have a 7-figure business and you got to do it this way and you got to, you know, kill it and hustle. And, you know, that, where do you find the middle ground? And so that's my leading edge. And I think it's a leading edge for a lot of my clients too, is like, where do I fall in this very practical, real world that tells us you have to hustle and kill it and strive and, you know, work in that sort of male energy versus allowing and freedom and expansiveness and all the stuff that lights us up, you know? So yeah, that was a long answer, but
it was beautiful and I resonate, and I'm sure that Anna will jump in and say that she resonated as well, because guys, and if you are resonating, do comment, do let us know what your experience is, you know, add your energy to the conversation. We'd love to hear that, you know. And I feel like we all have those similar paths. Yes, there are soul path alignment, but the steps along the way and the downfalls and the pitfalls and the going off in the bushes and the signs, you know, we then listen to that call and we move forward and we nudge. And I'm really interested that you said you found it easy and, you know, the marketing, and you found it fun. For me, the people that were around me were like, I hate business and I hate marketing. And why do I have to do it? This is not what I signed up for. I don't like selling. Like, they were like really repelling it. And I agree that you need both. You can't just be focusing on, well, I've got my gifts and I'm going to meditate all day. And you need the structure around it and making marketing fun and easy and just in flow and in alignment. So maybe you going through the journey that you did after you came out of coaching training school, maybe that made an impact, did it?
Well, like I said, it's where I fall for myself too all the time, you know? I mean, I like marketing when I get to do it my way, you know, and not when it's being pushed on me from, you know, obviously I'm the only one who can push that on myself anyway, but like when it's coming from that place of like, you got to do this, you got to do that, you gotta, you know, when it comes from that place, like, we just shut down, right? We just stop doing it, or we procrastinate, or we're like, I'm not good at it. I can't sell. I can't market. I can't whatever. And we just don't do it, as opposed to saying, okay, what would light me up? What excites me here? How would I like to share this? You know? Exactly. And I'm sure that's the place that Anna works from too.
I was going to say, Anna, how like, just share, jump in, but share how your journey unfolded as well, if it was similar or if it was completely different.
I'm just here nodding my head, you know, listening to this conversation because it's so fascinating to me. And I see a lot of similarities. And I think a lot of the viewers here and a lot of Erin and my audience were also very intuitive and also very spiritual, whether or not we call ourselves that. And I feel like intuitive, spiritual people do things a different way. And we're also really affected by mainstream marketing, right? Like that push. And how I got started, I was actually doing a startup in Beijing. It was a health tech startup. And it's very, you know, we were asking for venture capital, all this stuff. So it's very like, we had to have a PowerPoint presentation and how many users do we have and what's the cost benefit analysis and cost of acquisition. It's all of this stuff that I thought I had to do in my coaching business. But then what really started my coaching business was I was actually with my grandmother, who was basically dying of cancer. And I had come back to the US to be with her at that time. And then at that point, I just realized, and I could actually feel her spirit leave her body, which was both beautiful, but also kind of scary, right? I was like, what do I do from here? And I had created my coaching business because I wanted to spend time with her and be with her, because I wanted to make my own schedule, right? And I wanted to do something that I could really be proud of and have her be proud of, because she's also very spiritual. And what I realized there was, I was talking about my coaching, just like everyone else was talking about their coaching, but I had ignored a part of me that was obsessively reading spiritual books and self-help books and feeling energy and stuff. And I was like, wow, I can actually combine the two. And that's what people have sought me out for anyway, right? So I totally agree with what Erin said. It's part of who you are. That's the best marketing, how you have fascinating conversations with people. Sometimes those are the best sales conversations. You don't necessarily need a template or a script. You can have that, right? But if you really lean into your gifts, that's how you really bring your energy into your business and into your messaging. And that's really valuable.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And exactly, and Erin, you say, that's a long-winded, inexact, but it is that nodding, like, yeah, that was me. Yeah, we did a lot of that in today's episode, in the earlier episode, in episode 2. It's like, yes. And the 2 guests that were in there, because we have that divine guidance, had that, we were talking about intuition. And from the standpoint that you guys come from, I can see the similarities there. So we're kind of drawn to like the people that resonate with our path and our journey. Do you know what I mean? And like, we'll share the gifts in just a second, Anna, because I know that you talk about speaking and being who you are, and that really resonating, and that's the approach that you want to get out there. So I feel like that's a really nice segue to go into our gifts and talk about the journey there. So let me just introduce, firstly, your gift, Erin, is, and guys, the link will be down in the show notes or the description. So absolutely, everybody says don't multitask. I absolutely say just go and grab it, right? So it is the Authentic Courage Guide. And so it's a 3-step method to up-level your confidence and create an aligned, unauthentic, and successful business. And that's kind of, I feel like that ties into where you're going as well, Anna. So Erin, you give us the 3 parts in there. Can you explain a little bit about when somebody downloads it, what they will get?
Yeah, I mean, a big part of what my secret is that I think you have to be taking aligned actions every day, outward facing actions. And so that's one of the 3 steps in there, is that you get into that space of internal alignment and asking, what am I being called to do today? What am I being called to share today? How am I being called to share that today? Who am I being called to reach out to today? Because those aligned actions are not like, well, we want them to be things like, oh, I'm just going to go research a little bit. I'm just going to go like hang out on the internet for a while and research. But really, those actions have to be putting you in front of people, connecting with people, having those conversations, asking for a deeper conversation, which may or may not be a sales conversation, but is the next step in the relationship that you're building with that person. So one of those 3 steps is, how do I take those aligned actions? And it's funny because Iona and I were just talking about this before. Like I've actually forgotten half of the resources that are jammed into there.
There is a lot in there.
Yes. But one of them is a video on tapping. And I don't know if you guys have ever used tapping before. Yeah, but it's just really powerful work of getting into your subconscious and getting into what's my stuff that's blocking me from taking action, because so many of us are like, oh, it's the end of the day and I didn't do all those things I said I was going to do, or it's the end of the week or the end of the month and I told myself I was going to do all these things and I didn't do it. And over time, that's what erodes your confidence in yourself, is not taking the actions that you promised yourself you were going to take. And so tapping is just a really awesome way to get into, what is that about? What are my deep, dark fears that are holding me back from putting myself out there? Yeah. So that's in there. It's all free. It's all juicy. I'm sure there's more stuff that I can't even remember.
No. I'm like, it's fine, because I dive deep and there's a lot. And so there's a lot of chapters. It's an actual, I don't know if it's a whole book, but it's more than just
a whole book. It's a whole book, people. It's a real book.
Whole book. Listen, I've taken notes, right? So I can tell you what's in there, right? So don't worry about
it. Good.
So I love that in the three parts. So the three parts that you talk about is that removing limiting beliefs and anchoring new beliefs and taking those aligned actions. So I know that you mentioned that, taking those aligned actions. And I feel like when you're talking about the fear and you're talking about, oh, actually your journey, sometimes when you go, what you're focusing on, you might be focusing on the things that people are saying to you, or the things that you're saying to yourself, and the way that you're going to approach your day, the way that you're going to put yourself out there. Sometimes it's that underlying belief that you don't even know that is then sabotaging you. And you talk about doing the tapping first and then really diving below the layers to take that action, right?
Yeah. And, you know, a kind of shortcut, if you guys are like, oh my God, tapping, that sounds way too much, like way too much work.
Oh, no.
It's just, well, some people might be, you know, but is journaling. You know, if there's something out there that you haven't been able to do, just journal out, why am I not doing this? And it will come up. It will come out of your deep subconscious like, oh, here's why. Because if you put yourself out there, your third grade teacher will see that you're, you know, a psychic realtor, which one of my friends actually is a psychic realtor, right? Like, you know, maybe she doesn't want everybody to see that, you know, and in the beginning of her business, she didn't until she got outed with a giant billboard, but that's a different story. But anyway, you know, there's something there. There's something underneath why you're not getting on a Facebook Live, right? It's not because it's that hard to hit the little button, right? Like we could all do that piece of it. It's because if you put yourself out there in that way, someone's going to see you. Someone's going to reject you. Someone's going to tell you they don't love you anymore. And even if that's not conscious, even if it's not even reality, right? Like,
yeah,
you know, is someone going to actually say that to you? Probably not. But like, it's in our subconscious. It's in our subconscious telling us that like to put yourself out there, to make yourself bigger, to put yourself out of your comfort zone means risk of rejection. And that is so strong in all of us. It's literally like the same level as a electric shock. Like the fear of rejection, being rejected by your tribe, you know, is literally the same emotional level as an electric shock going through your body. And who wants that? Nobody. So we avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talk about, and you list the things that you might say and the limiting beliefs. So you've got real examples that you can't make money and it's not spiritual and rich people. And there's things that you don't really realize that you are actually saying, whether you're saying it out loud or you're just saying it subconsciously. So I love that you list those. And so that ties in really nicely with your, if you want to jump in, Anna, and then I'll pull your gift in. It's the stuff that's underneath, right? The shadow work, the things that are kind of hidden, right?
Yes, and I love what Erin said about the Facebook Live, and it does feel like you're about to get an electric shock. So my rule is every time I'm about to do a Facebook Live, I just hit the go live button before I'm ready, because I'll never be ready. I'll always talk myself out of it. So I'm just like, I just literally close my eyes, and sometimes you'll see the thing go live and my eyes are still closed. So it's like, it just affects us and we don't know why, or, you know, and it's just being able to see that you are the observer of that's not just all you are is this like person who's afraid of doing Facebook Live, right? There's like a bigger vision. I'm doing it to share. I'm doing it because I know who my people are and I can energetically feel that they need this. Like right now, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of comparison right now. And that's the thing that actually keeps me driving, even though I still actively have these shadows and unconscious things that you talked about. I'm downloading your book that holds you back. It holds me back. And so Iona said it perfectly. You just need to know. You just need to be aware. And yeah, my free download, it's not, it definitely doesn't sound as lengthy as yours in terms of the detail that it goes through. And, but it is complementary in the sense that it's about taking these elements and our shadows, our life experiences, things that we've been criticized about, even traumatic events, and owning them and having that really be part of your brand as your signature program. And your friend, the psychic realtor who then took out a billboard, freaking awesome.
Someone else took out the billboard. The place where she was offering her psychic readings took out the billboard and totally outed her, like big picture, headshot, like she didn't know was up until somebody else called her. So yeah.
Talk about the universe outing you. That's
seriously, right? Then it was like, okay, time to own this, right? So
yes.
I love that. I know. In your book, Anna, you talk about the shadow work. So let me dive into the gift that everyone can get. Definitely go and grab it. And I have had a look at it, and I really resonate with. It looks simple because it's not as long. Erin's got a book, but the steps that you take, they take a while. They take a while to go through and sit and marinate. And, do you know what I mean? And when you're at that place, it's like, okay, so let me tell you what it is. So it's the Intuitive Business Building Roadmap. And so on the road, you get signs, right? So I love that you literally put signposts out there. So it's called your Intuitive Business Building Roadmap. Create your signature system, signature program, work with your ideal clients, and add 5 to 10K to your monthly coaching revenue. Hello.
That's awesome.
Who doesn't want that roadmap?
Who doesn't want that? That's awesome.
Do it.
Like, hello, down below.
Who doesn't want that? That's awesome.
So can you share, I know you talk about like the mainstream and what the struggles are, and that kind of dive deep into the takeaway where you want people to go and really know that actually this is waiting for you if you're struggling with this.
Yes, I want everyone to know that everything that we feel is shameful, so trauma that we've had, chronic illnesses. I have a chronic illness. I grew up with parents with mental health issues. I've had struggles with health and money and relationships, all that stuff. And that's all stuff that I want to hide because I see all these other successful coaches and I'm like, I want to be like them. I want to claim that, right? And then, but really the true connective tissue for humans is our shadow, is our suffering, is what we go through. And if that's part of you owning that, that confidence becomes an energy that's very magnetic. But we really have to do that inner work ourselves of really owning ourselves, right? Because it's not other people's job to care about what we do. It's our job to have confidence in what we're doing and in our gifts. And then that just kind of extends out, right, to our audience.
Yeah, 100%. And guys, when you do look through and go through the process, you talk about the struggles that you've overcome. So I love that. And I overcome a lot of struggles and I put my hand up. And that's why I wanted to say this is raw and real. And I was saying earlier is on the bios, you don't get to see what is behind a bio, right? You just assume, like you said, there's a lot of anxiety and people are comparing and you can't compare. Nobody can sit in my shoes. Nobody can sit in your shoes. Do you know what I mean? They can't sit in your shoes. So it's really getting in touch and having this roadmap. And you think about how you can help somebody and what you can actually, the result that you can actually guarantee that outcome. And I think a lot of people might shy away from that, like, well, I can't have any guarantees, but it's kind of like those things that really come naturally to you, the things that you've gone through, the struggle, the road that you've paved, that you then lean back, right?
Yeah, and I think when we ask ourselves, what can we guarantee someone? Maybe it's not something concrete, like I can guarantee that this happens in terms of how many clients they close or whatever, whatever that is. But if we really look within, then it challenges us to be like, what can I guarantee? Oh, I can guarantee a safe space for people to discover their gifts, for people to discover their blocks and unleash their blocks. So being clear on that, I think, helps us access part of our gift. Yeah,
definitely. And thinking of, I know that you mentioned like your own formula, like your own step by step that walks you through to think about and sit in that space of getting to know yourself, really. I think one of the things that ties everything together is when you know who you are and who you are being, what you love, then you can serve from that space and build your life from that space. And then you're not as reluctant to say, actually, I'm crushing it in this area of my life. This area is a bit like off or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It just is, and nothing is. So for the intentional living codes, and for those of you who don't know, and the Cheers to Financial Freedom Telechat series is about raising your vibration and owning where you are and not having that shame and not having that resistance. And so each area, the Cheers is contribution freedom, health freedom, emotional freedom, relationship, environmental freedom, relationship freedom, spiritual freedom, and financial freedom. And I love that you say, you know, I've had those health issues, I've got those health issues, and it's deciding actually, how do I want my health to look and feel like? What do I need to work on? So sometimes it's not even that you want to be hard hitting and you want to be going out there, like you said, Erin, you know, hustling and listening to everyone. Sometimes it's like, for me, it was, I need to help and heal myself first. I'm not going to touch anything else out there. I'm going to help and heal myself first. And sometimes that's even the thing to do. And then that forms the character and the formula. And then you go out, do you know what I mean? It's that cycle, right?
Absolutely.
And I love that, Anna, you said before that, you know, what can you guarantee? Because I think that really brings us back to this space of integrity too. You know, it really helps us to name what it is that we truly can help with, instead of listening to those outside messages about, well, I need to tell them I can help them with this, you know, and because that's, I mean, I struggled with that for a long time in my business, you know, with a lot of coaches were telling me, oh, you got to make sure you can guarantee this and that in your business. And it's really about coming back to, like what you said, what you can guarantee for them, because then you are acting from that place of highest integrity. Like, this is the work I do, guys. And if you're not cool with that, that's cool. Go somewhere else, you know, but this is where we are. And I just love that you said that. And yeah, it's great.
Integrity is so key, because even if you feel into energetically, right, there's a lot of guarantees that you can just feel out of integrity. And I know people, I've been one of those people who bought into the bigger programs, and they guarantee whatever, and it's a really high ticket thing. And then you go and you're just like, excuse me, what are we doing here, right? And so people, I think, really, when we connect to ourselves, like Iona said, and we can actually feel out our mentors, we can feel out what vibrates, resonates with us, then there's something in our intuition that just knows, oh, there's something yummy about this person, or there's something really powerful for me here, versus all of the intense, you know, neon copywriting, right? That's very fancy and it's foodie and it's like tantalizing. But then, and I fell prey to it, right? And then you go and you're like, wait, this is actually a group of very, very anxious people who are, you know, trying to make money, but they're, you know, not sleeping, and, you know, like they're just, I need to make money. And, you know, just feel out, do you want your business to be run like that?
Do you want it to look like that? Yeah. And also, like, I was just talking about this morning, like, you know, when you get in that space, you hand over so much of your power to that other person. Like, oh, you can guarantee me these results. You can tell me how to run my business. You have all the answers, you know, and obviously we do it in other arenas too, not just business, but like, if you're looking for a guru, if you're looking for a person who's going to give you all the answers, it's going to end badly. It's going to end in a bad place, you know?
Yeah, they're probably a narcissist. That guru is probably a narcissist, and you're probably an empath, and it's going to end well. No, not well.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
I want to address this, because I feel like it's kind of like elephant in the room and the online space, and I am absolutely here to break those barriers down. So for those of you who don't know me yet, I am here to have the conversations where we are moving and transitioning from the list building, because you can't put souls on lists. Hello, right? And so moving to building a legacy. And that means, for me, is you are doing this work. You are getting like in touch with who you are and who it is that you want to serve, and how it is that you want to be speaking to people, and how it is you want to make a difference. And then you don't look so externally. But then once you know, actually, this is the vision, this is how I want to show up for my self clients, this is how I want to be in my family life, this is how I want to be in my world life, intentional living, then you seek out those mentors who are in alignment right? And so I feel like in the industry, the conversation that wants to be had, and I don't think it's judging and blaming, I think it's just trends and cultures and whatever, is that people are being burnt and they're not having a conversation about it. And they're being burnt hard. And then if you are then someone who has been burnt by a supposed guru or expert, then you don't want to call yourself that. You don't want to claim the same thing. And then that has that spiral, like, I'm not going to associate myself, even if it's subconscious, I'm not going to associate myself with that. So then marketing feels a bit slazy.
And that's how we lose all the high integrity people, right? I took 2 years, I think, to recover from hiring someone who was a guru, very spiritual. And then it was like me and this other, we almost formed a support group, right? And that's why I say, like, if we're intuitive, we feel that really have to be so spot on.
2 years.
We'll have to have a conversation, Anna.
16 feet, right? I've got goosebumps.
And I think here's what I'll have to say about that is I don't even want to use the word burned, because I don't think any of that is, like, I don't regret those experiences. I don't feel like the money was lost or anything like that, because what I learned through that process was listening to me. It took that person showing up in that way and me paying a lot of money to them to show up in that way for me to say, that's not how I want to run my business. And if that's what it takes, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing it. And I say burnt, for me, it's like, it leaves that taste in your mouth, like, ooh, what was that? And that is not what you signed up for. So I'm a big believer in walking your talk, right? And so when you walk in your talk, you're inviting people in and you're saying, this is what I have for you. I do believe in being in service. And so because the industry is like, well, we'll build a list, we'll put names on the list, and then we'll put this program and we'll do it as fast track as possible. Then we'll do this, and then we'll do, it's kind of this bubble, like, we're real people and we're giving you money. And so that doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel in integrity. It doesn't feel in alignment with my values. And it's not about judging, and it's not about shaming or pointing. But I absolutely think that we have a duty to say, well, hang on a minute. Like, that's not the way that feels aligned to everybody. You carry on doing what you're doing and it's working for some. But I don't even think that it's who you would go to. It's the model of it that doesn't suit our DNA, our soul. It's not about, well, that doesn't work and this doesn't work, and it just doesn't work for me and it doesn't work for you. Do you know what I mean? And it's being in alignment. When you're in alignment with your soul calling, then you're not then going out and falling. Everything that I've signed up to, I will say, if I've had an experience like that, I've called it out and said, listen, this doesn't feel good. What is going on? And I've addressed it and I've gone to whoever it needed to be, because that's just me. And I'm like, and then they've said, oh, okay. Because sometimes they're not even aware of what's really going on down deep in the trenches. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so the more that we have these conversations, the more it brings to people's attention, and the more then that we then are aligned and are authentic and are in alignment with our values.
And I do feel also, Iona, you made a good point. There's an onus on us really to create this different paradigm. And I think there also is an onus on us as leaders, spiritual leaders, to look at, well, for me, it was really important to look at what part of me signed up for that, yes. Right? So what was I doing that I was in that headspace that I needed someone to save me, which I'll be honest, that was a headspace I was in. And now I can recognize that in other people. I know what to do in that sense. And like Erin said, I know more of who I am now and what I want to do. So for those people who have been, burned or had bad experiences, I think it's, you'll know when you're ready to kind of come back and be like, okay, now I know what I want to create. Now I know who I am not. And there is kind of a responsibility, right, for you to be an additive change. Yeah.
I think Erin dropped off and hopefully she'll jump back in and join us.
Erin disappeared into the universe.
She actually, they sucked her in, come back.
She was so high vibe.
I'm sure she'll hop back in. I might have to add her as a panelist. So, we're good with that. But yeah, I do. I believe that there's a conversation that just us having that conversation in a way that is authentic to us, that isn't like giving your power and your control away or anything like that. But I definitely think that it's conversations that it's almost like, well, I was behind closed doors. Like you said, it took me 2 years. And behind closed doors, you're not going to, hang on, let me just promote to panelists. You're not going to then make sure.
Yeah, it was hard for me to do the work that I was doing, because deep inside I'm like, is this industry just fraud? Like, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with coaching? And then those are the voices that were going on as I was trying to, continue helping people and building my business. And it was just that internal work, right? Recognizing again, what was the part of me that, bought into that?
Yeah, I did. I had the same thing. It's like you kind of go, well, if this industry is like, I want out, like, can I pave my own way? And so what you see on the Soul Legacy TV, podcast and radio show, leverage. I'm not about hustle. Hello, right? Repurpose. Just like, and share. And then it's okay, how can I leverage my time? Okay. And how can I have a different conversation? Okay, I'm going to just bring 2 guests in. It's doing the models that you see, but then doing it in a way that actually like, this feels really great. And this feels like fun. And this is our work, right? This is our work. I would much rather be having authentic conversations, joining in the conversation, giving gifts, and inviting people to take those next steps. And one of the things that I was having a conversation with on the previous episode is, I said to my guest, is it okay if I share what your next steps are? So when you build a list and you have this model, which I'm sure that you guys are familiar with, let us know in the comments. And I'm not saying that it's wrong, but it just doesn't suit me. And I was just saying to Barry, my partner, I said, nobody wants to be sold to, right? That's everybody says, nobody wants to be sold to. But I also don't want to be lied to. Honesty is my biggest value, right? And integrity, honesty, like. And so when you say, sign up for my list, have this gift, and I'm not going to sell you, I'm not going to pitch you anything, I'm absolutely going to offer you what I have and see if it resonates, because I want to be in service. It's crazy. I said to Barry, like, when you go in the shop, you go in the store, you don't say, well, I won't take any money in and they better not ask me to buy anything. Go in the shop and choose what it is. I'm knocking my water off. Go and choose what it is that you want. It's ridiculous. If you have something to share, shout about it. Don't worry about it. Those people that don't resonate with you, then that's fine. But don't say, come on my list and I'll nurture you for like 3 months. And then you're leaving people procrastinating, stuck and struggling. It's crazy. To me, it's crazy. Have an, like you said, Erin, have an authentic and a deeper conversation. Just have a conversation. It's this fork in the road, or this fork in the road. If it's not me, it's somebody else, but definitely don't do it alone.
I don't know if you guys have read, I can't remember the guy that wrote it, but the Story Brand book. Have you guys read that book at all?
No.
He talks about how your marketing messages should be, here's your client, here's you. And it's like, will you marry me? No. Will you go to dinner with me? Yes. Will you marry me? Not right now. Will you marry me? Yes.
Yes.
So like, you always want to be offering them that chance to marry you, to work with you, but if that's not where they are, like, then it's okay, well, let's go to dinner, okay, then let's have our free gift together and let's, be in community in a Facebook group, or let's, read my blogs, whatever you're ready for. Let's have a cup of coffee. But they should also know you want to get married, right? Like you
that's your intention.
Yeah, I'm not on this online dating site just to chill, Well, I guess some people are. So
do that. We're not going there. So that's the thing. I've heard something similar, and it's like, don't ask people to marry you on the first date. But I've had people that have come to me, had a conversation, and go, no, I don't want to then go to the follow up. I want to know where to sign up. Can you? And I'm like, no, you know, because I'm not a drag you kicking and screaming kind of person. I'm like, absolutely give you the space to experience my work and experience that magic. And some people just go, I already know. And I've done that as well. I'm like, can you just send me the link because
I'm ready.
And there are people that are there. So having that offering, and I'm not saying force people or anything like that, but people come to me and they've already asked the universe. They've already asked the universe out loud. And they go, I asked the universe for this. This is like creeping me out. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yes,
it is that space. But I could talk to you guys forever. And you know, I really appreciate you being raw and just real. Just please be real, guys. Leave some real comments, you know, add your energy conversation. So I'm gonna wrap up with ease, grace, and flow. I'm kind of just gonna free flow over there, as I do. And then I'll ask you guys if you have anything else to add to the conversation. Guys, we're working. This is work.
That's right. That's so cool.
This is work. This is our marketing. This is our sharing. This is our, you know, a conversation. I'm big into conversation. Just have a conversation. So we're going to invite you to join. So I've got notes. So let us know what your shift was. If you've had a shift, if you've had an aha moment, we would love you to let us know where you are on your journey, you know, your experiences. Are you going to go and grab the gifts? Are you doing it alone? Have you been out there and tried a bunch of stuff? Let us know what you've tried, because we've probably tried it too, right? And so I say that if you decide now is the time to change your tribe, then change your vibe, raise your vibrational frequency, just do it, right? Get around the right people, get around the people that are authentic and aligned with you. And so if you want to connect with like minds, I would love for you to join me in the after show. I feel like the magic's going to happen in the after show. So I feel blessed to support soul guided entrepreneurs in this way. And I do want to be in service, and I will be offering 50 breakthrough sessions that serve. So if you want one of those, reach out to me. Everything will be in the links down below. Part of the Soul Legacy TV podcast and radio show is me and my guests paying tribute to those of us, those who are not here with us on the earthly plane. And so those experiences that we have, the love that we have when we lose a loved one, that grief and that fear, and they're lower vibrations. And I'm inviting you to really make your life count, really honor the people that are around you. Don't be so busy in your business and get, you know, bogged down with this and this. Move with ease, grace, and flow. You know, there is support here for you. There's a lot of love and there's a lot of light. So I want to say and leave you with this. So I say, remember to turn your wounds into wisdom. And they are not my words. Initially, I heard Oprah say it, actually. So I say, don't be a wounded light worker. I dare you to be legend. Hashtag legendary light leaders. So I invite you to live and leave your soul legacy and focus on being in service first, and trust the soul downloads because they are real. Even if you don't have light minds around you and people not downloading, we are definitely downloading over here. So in this space. So I'd love to know if you have anything to add to the conversation. Anna, do you want to go first?
Oh, okay. So I love what you said about really honoring the people who are with us, the people who aren't with us. I said something about my grandmother, and she comes to me all the time. And sometimes I'm just like, hey, grandma, what do you think about this business? What's going on here? Because the thing is, it's all, everyone's part of us. We have a huge spiritual team. Our business is an entity in itself that is naturally connected with your mission, with your clients. We do not sometimes remember how big we are and how powerful we are as energy. And we can actually move to a different vibration, a different frequency, just by changing our breath, just by changing our thoughts. And so I'm really, I'm just so humbled and excited and happy to be part of this journey, Iona, and meeting you, Erin. And for those of you listening, just know that, you know, we're here for you. And also you have a lot of resources here for you. And you also have a lot of energetic resources and intuition within that's supporting your path. So it's no accident that you found this. It's no accident that people find you. So really step into your mission and your calling, which is a light worker, a leader, a healer.
I love that. Oh, wow. I feel like that just needed a little bit of space rather than like, oh, wow. Thank you so much for showing up for us fully. Erin, do you have anything to add to the conversation before we hop off?
Ditto. Can I say ditto to what Anna said?
You can say ditto. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just want to step back into that place of integrity too, because I think, you know, this online world has just kind of pulled a lot of us in a different direction. And when we're truly walking in our inner power, when we're stepping into what it means to be a sovereign being in this world, to be, you know, the path I study, shamanism, is asking you to fully embrace your power. But, you know, you don't have to study shamanism to do that. It's just from that place of like, what's true for me? And when you focus on that and come back to that, then just all the magic comes from there. And like Anna said, I just really want to welcome you guys to walking in that path and walking in your inner wisdom and power. And I have a Facebook group called The Authentic, and what is it called? Oh God, I have so many things running at the same time. I'm like getting myself confused. Thank you. It's Authentic and Courageous Spiritual Entrepreneurs. And the reason I'm getting confused is because my group coaching program starts tomorrow, and it's the Authentic and Magical Marketing Tribe. And so like I'm mixing them up in my head. I used authentic too many times. So but
I just use soul, like everything I say.
There you go. Yeah. We all have our words.
Yeah. So Anna, you have your Facebook group as well.
The Intuitive Business School.
So that is the link, because I haven't put the links around here. I can if you'd like me to, but I think that's in your.
Yeah, download it. It's all there. And some cute pictures of Anna too.
Thank you. And guys, I have my free gift, the Soul Legacy School Masterclass. If you have ever experienced the fear of failure, success, and selling, you have to jump on that masterclass, because that is the space that I was from. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is not the best place to build your business from, trust me. And I feel like some of the conversations that will be had from this, like you said, Erin, with your fear, and like you said, Anna, you know, just really getting to know who you are and that roadmap. I can see beauty and love and light just expanding from this conversation. So guys, let us know how you found it. I shall see you in the next episode. I see you in the collective, in the Soul Legacy Movement Collective, or in the after show. But just move forward with soul guided action. That's what I want to share with you. Just do something, do something different if what it is that you're doing is not working out for you, right?
So true.
Oh, awesome. All right, guys. So I shall speak to you soon. I'm going to have to end the meeting because I can't find the.
That's okay. Bye, Anna.
All right.
Bye, Anna.
Oh, wait a minute. All right. Bye.